Hi, I'm Kelly with CitrusCycles.ca. I'm here with Bull's eStream Evo FS3 27.5 Plus. Bull's uses some pretty long, very descriptive names for their bikes. I can decipher that for you. The eStream Evo means that it uses the Broza motor, the Broza mid-drive. You can see it's built right into there. And of course they're using a battery built into the frame from BMZ in Germany. The FS, of course, refers to the fact that it's a full suspension bike. You can see we've got the RockShox Monarch there and the RockShox Yari up front. 3 refers to the fact that this is the top-end component on the bike, the best of the best in terms of the component selections they used. And of course the 27.5 Plus refers to the tire size. These are 27.5-inch tires with the 2.8-inch diameter, so a little bit wider, well, a fair bit wider than what you'd find on a regular mountain bike, and that gives you the additional benefits of being able to have lower air pressure, higher volume of air, going to smooth out the ride and allow you to get more traction. Of course, these you can set up as tubeless as well. These are the Schwalbe Rocket Ron. So I'm going to go through all of the details of this bike in a moment. And if you want to try this bike, which I'd highly recommend, head over to CitrusCycles.ca and contact us there to set up an appointment. Come try it here in Ladysmith, or we can bring the bike or any other e-bikes to you anywhere on Vancouver Island or the Lower Mainland. We can also ship the bike anywhere in Canada with free shipping. We have lots of different e-bikes, so feel free to call or email us for advice on the bike for you. Why would you want this bike? Well, if you are looking for a full suspension e-bike that doesn't look like an e-bike, this is an awesome choice. As you can see, the battery is built right into the frame here, so you really can't tell that it's an e-bike. In fact, I was just speaking with somebody before starting the video, and they didn't realize when I rode by that it was an e-bike. You can tell a little bit of the bulge here for the motor, but if you're riding and you're pedaling, there's no way of telling just by looking at it that this is an e-bike. And that's really the standout feature of this bike, because they've done such a good job of just making it look like a regular bike. So as I mentioned, the battery is integrated into the frame here, and you can see we've got a battery meter on here to tell you how much power you have in your battery. To remove it, it's a two-step process. You're going to unlock it first with the key, and you do want to make sure that you, when you reinsert the battery, that you remember to lock it. And of course remove the key so that your pedal arm here crank arm doesn't hit the key. Once you've unlocked it, on the other side here, there's a lever, and you just pull up on that. And then what's going to happen is the battery is going to drop right out of the frame. And you can see the battery here underneath the frame. There's a little bit of foam on here to protect it, which is a really cool feature. And then that just drops right out. And to reinsert it, you do the same thing, and then lock it in here with the clasp, and then use your key to lock it in. So the great thing about integrating the battery into the frame like that is you can actually have a water bottle cage, and that's something that we're sometimes missing on e-bikes because there isn't any room for that. I should mention the battery is a 650 watt-hour battery, so it's a massive battery, lots of power in there. You don't have to remove the battery to charge it. There is a little charging flap here, and so if you lift up on that, you can see that's a CAN bus magnetic style charger. When you have it plugged in and charging on the bike, if you trip over the cable or something like that, the cable's going to easily break away since it's magnetic, and you don't have to worry about damaging the charger or the bike or anything like that. Keeping in this minimalistic design philosophy here of really making it look like a regular bike, Bulls has decided to use this really compact display here. It's hard to tell in the video, but this is super bright. Even in direct sunlight you can easily read this, which is nice. And you can see it's small, it's compact. The reason they did that is this is a pretty nice bike. You can do some pretty aggressive riding with this bike. And so if you're doing aggressive riding and you crash, the last thing you want to do is have to buy a new display because you wiped out and cracked your display. With this small bar-mounted display here, it's less likely to be damaged by a crash. And again, it's not obvious that it's a e-bike given how small the display is here. To operate the bike, there's just an on-off switch right at the top here. You just press that. That'll turn the bike on. to adjust the level of assist, you actually just press up or down on the display. There are 3 levels of assist, so right now you can see we've got no assist. Press that and now the little box shows up there showing we've got level 1. Press it again, we have level 2, and press it again, we have level 3. And of course, to reduce it, you just press the minus. That tells you your current speed, and we also have a battery meter. And that's it. It's a very simple display, very easy to use. You just press up and down on the actual display itself. There's no trip computer, odometer, range estimator, anything like that. It's just a very basic display. On the side here we do have a walk mode button, so you press and hold that, and that'll actually activate the motor to move the bike along at a walking speed, I think about 4 or 5 kilometers an hour. The benefit of that is if you're on a trail and there's some stairs or something like that that you really can't ride up, or you are with your bike in a pedestrian area and need to walk it, pressing that button moves the bike along for you, so you're not having to push your bike up the hill or wherever you may be. So that's the display system, and again, like I said, it's keeping with this really minimalistic approach with the Broza motor. The other interesting thing about going with the Broza motor is that it does allow you to put a couple chain rings on the front here. So you can see we've got a smaller one for climbing and a larger one for cruising. It's a 38-28T combination. On the back here we've got the Shimano Dior XT. Again, like I said, the 3 designator for this bike means it's all the top end components. We've got 11 speeds with a nice big climbing gear here as well. And we've got, for the full suspension, like I said, we've got the RockShox Monarch here. I think we've got about 140 millimeters of travel. Same on the front with the RockShox Yari. And of course it's an air fork, so you can adjust that. We also have the compression adjustments on the top here and rebound on the bottom. We have the through axle, or the maxle as RockShox calls it, to give you that stiffness, and really it makes it a lot easier if you are removing your front wheel to transport the bike. And you do have a through axle, again with a quick release on the rear here as well. Nice big rotors. These are the Shimano XT hydraulic disc brakes, really nice. Very responsive 1 or 1.5 finger brakes, and again massive rotors up here on the front, because we are going with the higher end of all the specs that are available on the bike. As I mentioned, these are the Rocket Ron from Schwalbe. Bulls has gone with the Evolution, the Light Skin, and Pace Star compound, so you do have a good amount of puncture resistance and some durability on this. You can get the tire pressure with the tubes as low as 17 psi. And that's one of the advantages of going with these 27.5 by 2.8 tires, is you can put a lot of air in there and really bring the pressure down at the same time to give you some traction and stability, and really, you kind of float through things. So you can also set these up as tubeless if you want. We've got 35 millimeter rims. All in all, just a really nice setup bike. It does come in a number of different frame sizes, so you should be able to find the frame size that fits you. And we do have a quick release on the seat post here. You can change that out, of course. One of the changes you might want to make is you might want to throw a dropper post on there, and you could certainly do that. It's a Selle Royale saddle. It's actually fairly comfortable. I like it, but a lot of people like to change out the saddle to something that suits them, and a lot of times people change the other contact points or touch points on the bike, such as the pedals. These are nice Wellgo pedals, and they're actually black, matching the overall look of the bike, and that's nice that they paid attention to that little detail. A lot of times you see kind of aluminum color on a black bike and it doesn't really match, so it's nice that they put that thought into it. And really it is a very attractive, very nice looking bike. And so if you wanted to try this, head over to CitrusCycles.ca and you can book an appointment to try it. If you have questions, feel free to call or email. I'm sure I've forgot to point out some of the features, but you can find all the specs and the pricing on our website. This is Kelly from CitrusCycles.ca with the Bulls eStream Evo FS3 27.5 Plus. Quite the name, but it's a lot of fun to ride.